Hey everybody, we're gonna get started with some Persona 4 Arena today. We're on the second to last leg of the story. We're pretty close to the end of the story modes, I think. But before we do that, I'm gonna go through arcade mode once with Chie because there is no fighting in in this leg of the story mode. Which is interesting for a fighting game. Very interesting choice. So yeah, before we get to the sad Boston robot accent, just once through with my character of choice.
Had your own appearance. I wish you good luck.
The carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
And the
Discarded my womanhood.
the arcade mode actually gives a pretty good tourniqueted story mode. But it's not as complex. They don't, flesh out any sort of story or anything. Just kind of bare bone stuff.
Is this inside the TV? Something feels different from usual.
Ladies and gentlemen, the much-anticipated battle tournament has finally begun. I, Rosette, will be your commentator. Here, everyone gets to release their pent-up anger and frustration on each other. Let's settle those little grudges once and for all.
Woohoo! Wait, what? Seriously? Actually, what are you doing, Rise-chan?
I don't know why she's just interested in from the beginning. Interesting.
Whoa, wait a second. What is this? P1 Grand Prix? And 10?
Yeah. We kind of get all this. You know what? I'm just gonna skip it. You know what happens. You've seen the story mode. Boom. See?
That's not good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna have to do some serious Boston accent, which I'm not looking forward to, and I have to pitch it up, so it's already, not something I'm super comfortable with, plus something that I am actively uncomfortable with, that being a Brooklyn accent. I have no idea. I actually had to look up how to do one before I started playing.
A round of applause for both sides.
Lost?
Yeah.
A huge victory!
It wasn't that huge.
Finish!
It's not that shocking.
Let's move on to... Game Unconquerable Yukiko Magi! The hall is charged with excitement!
Game 2 will now begin.
Yeah.
You want to protect me if you can beat me, right? Yukiko? That makes no sense.
Round one. Fight!
You can get fans are taking the stage. What a fierce attack. This is true. Help me. Dog pursuit.
No problem.
And the round is over.
Round two.
Think you can get revenge this time?
This is the fighting game spin-off. It's the original Persona is an RPG with a lot of dating sim elements. but it's actually really good. Especially 5s. 5 is really welcoming to people who aren't like super big on RPGs. But this is just this fighting game spin-off. And it's getting a port to PC soon. The even better version than this. So if you're interested, you can always do that. Oh, nice. Perfect.
A huge victory! What a shocking finish!
It is acting weird. I need to hurry and find.
Yeah.
Here goes! Game 3! The blood-curdling Emperor, Kanji Tatsumi!
But this fighting game does in fact feature a full-length visual novel inside of it.
Next is game 3.
The kicking technique ain't nothing to me.
Yeah, whatever. I have the hardest time with kanji, at least on the harder difficulties. I suspect that at the lower levels he's going to be just as easy as anyone else. Oh, no, he's using that spammy move. No, it will not. Oh yeah, yeah. No, the part that I'm at in the story, it's just literally just not any. There's one fight in this chapter of the story. It's nuts. See if I can do a killing move. I like doing those. They're always fun.
What a shocking finish!
Where is that thing?
Finally! Game the
Yeah.
hall is charged with excitement!
Here we are, game.
So I'm just letting you. I'm just giving you a little bit of fighting just to start out with, just so that you're not, bored the entire time, because it is just going to be me talking for several hours.
I am far beyond your ability.
That didn't work out. Were they too impatient?
Yeah, they were. Oh damn, got me moderately on the ropes. All right, let me look at this up real quick. What is it? Oh yeah, down. All right. Oh man, I missed. There you go.
Lost the lead. What a disappointment.
Is anyone surprised by the results?
But yeah, if you've never played a Persona game before, play one. 4 is my favorite. 5 is the easiest one to get into.
Here's your next opponent.
3 is good. 1 and 2, don't play 1 and 2.
Can you all feel the
At absolute most, watch me play 1 and 2, because there's just a strong possibility that I will eventually do that. Oh yeah, that's right, you're moving. Alright, yeah. There we go. Boom. Instant KO.
So long.
Is anyone surprised by the results?
A fake Teddy in this weird fighting show.
Yeah. It's all very exciting.
You all feel the drama.
Game 6. There's someone here besides us.
Round
Yeah.
1.
The boxer Kiki from Sonata is about to enter the ring. Come on! Another shot. Reading their team attack from the tremendous blow already. This is
There we go.
now that's a proper victory.
Round 2.
Are you ready for the next one?
Oh my god. Come on. I want to do it. You're annoying. Fine. There. Damn. Keep trying to pull it off. Can't do fireball motions to save my life. Which makes fighting games, particularly difficult for me. But, I can button mash with the best of them. And this game absolutely rewards button mashing. Doesn't even think about it. Just says, yep, good enough. You're doing a good job.
Lucky game 7. Here goes. She's Akihiko-san's friend.
Okay, cool.
One.
I am far beyond your ability.
And the round is over.
Yep, there we go.
Round.
Think you can get revenge?
All right.
Light damage. Will they push on?
Oh, damn. There we go.
Is anyone surprised by the results?
Yeah. It's Labrys is next.
Mysterious challenger. It's just getting
Yeah. Labrys.
Is this the announcement room? Cheat?
round. One.
Oh god, I hate fighting Labrys. She's so good, too good. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah, there we go. This will be it. This will be it. Last combo. This was actually close.
Did I win?
Yeah.
The shadow went berserk. Greasy Charm Labrys skip.
Round. One.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Undefeated. Undefeated. Oh, I gotta do it again? Lame. Ah. Ah! Damn. Did a persona break at the wrong time, and I got hit by that stupid ultimate attack. Blech, whatever. What the heck was that? Ah, god damn it! I can't believe I lost at the very end because of that stupid fucking ultimate attack. Blech. Lame. Lame. Lame.
I lost.
Yeah. I'm the big horrible loser from Planet Stink. Very weird. Twitch says I'm currently unstable, but it seems all fine from here. Alright. Let's get to story mode proper. I parked my car in Harvard Yard.
This place exists
I
between
parked
Dream
my
and
car
reality.
in Harvard Yard.
Now then, why don't you
Labrys.
introduce yourself?
Labrys. 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 Car. Labrys.
The persona aboard has the power to control
Labrys.
what I wish you good luck.
Here goes. It's the best you're gonna get out of me. Initial boot successful. Time stamped 420. Locked my car. Time stamped 420 1999. 10/16/39. Oh god, it's so hard. I can't pitch my voice up either because you have an instinct to drop down.
This happens every time, but I'm never sure what to say to them first.
You mean like a greeting? There's no need for that. They're just machines.
Two humans within visual range, both male, searching for voice print and visual matches. Personnel identified as research staff, not hostile
That might
targets.
affect the performance of these models.
Because they have a mind?
Oh god, it's so hard. It's so hard to pitch my voice up and do a Brooklyn accent or a Boston accent at the same time. It's so hard.
Their emotions and things are completely faked. It's no different than an AI. It can't possibly be that sensitive.
Scanning for keywords in conversation, running logical analysis, cross-referencing with related data. Current conversation topic is not
Well,
orders.
until we rule it out completely, we should at least be kind to them.
So you say. All right, from this moment on, you will be registered as candidate unit number 031. Please repeat your number back to me.
Confirming forced order. Initializing unit number. Output via voice requested. Activating voice synthesis module. Accepting input.
Unit number 031.
Did its pronunciation sound a little odd to you?
You're worrying too much. Let's hurry up and haul it out.
Receiving action plan through console. Combat test against others of same unit. Test commencing immediately after entering shock-resistant chamber within lab. Frame stored within cage for transport. Beginning transport.
Ah, so this is the one. I've been waiting to see it in action.
Transport complete. Cage reopened. New human found. Searching for voice print and visual matches. Personnel also identified as research staff. Female. Cutting connection to outside data supply. Connection offline. Commencing cable disconnection. So
Now,
tough.
Try getting up.
So tough. Order confirmed. Get off. Initiating motion synchronization engines for motor functions. Accepting input. Safety limiters active. Balance control gyros functional. Overall movement systems functional.
This model's loaded with a nearly pure form of that crystal. I can't wait to see what kind of results it gets.
Unit number 031, can you hear me? Confirm your surroundings. Tell us any abnormalities you're feeling in your sensors or any other functions.
Order confirmed. Beginning simple self-diagnostic. Temperature, humidity, pressure, air composition, lumen, sound all within normal levels. Visual data within expected color spectrum. All system functional.
The readouts seem fine. Monitoring system is fully operational.
Okay, we're gonna test your performance inside the battle chamber now. When you hear the buzzer, consider everything that moves an enemy and eliminate them.
Order confirmed. Awaiting the signal to begin the test. Exit confirmed to be sealed. Room shape, approximately cylindrical. Height, approximately 11 meters. Area, approximately 7 meters square. High energy light source is found on outer wall, assumed to be fire resistant and bulletproof.
Sorry to do this just after you've woken up, but it'll be good to put you through your paces.
Release of facing hatch detected. Mobile objects intruding into chamber. 7 objects in total. Scanning for visual matches. Analysis. Non-human. Confirmed as same model of units of humanoid weapons. Hostile markers confirmed. Classifying as hostile units. Releasing safety limiters. Battle limit now set at 70%. Exits confirmed resealed. Test commencement. Signal received. Targets. Hostile humanoid weapons. Commencing battle. There is no battle. You do not get to battle. It's just an anime cutscene. God damn it, it still won't work. It's cool. I'll give you that. It's a cool anime cutscene. Labrys kills a lot of people. Well, robots. All targets eliminated. Hostile units no longer capable of motion. Test termination signal received. Battle complete.
Better than we could have hoped for.
Hey, what's with all the bodies? You made it fight that many on its first time?
Don't worry, it did great. This is a new high score for the first battle results.
Well done, unit number 031. Stand by for further instruction.
Order confirmed. Exiting test chamber. Beginning transport to maintenance room. Resetting safety limiters. Taking seat in maintenance chair.
We're done testing, but there's still one thing left to do today. I'm going to temporarily shut down your optics. Can you close your eyes?
Order confirmed. Shutting optic inputs. Connecting cables. Online confirmed. Switching a portion of the data supply to outside source.
Transfer the data from the destroyed units into your memory. Run a diagnostic check while we're doing it and report any malfunctions. Understood?
Order confirmed. Readying self-diagnostic. Initiating data transfer. Initiating personality module link. Initiating diagnostic of transferred data and sorting procedures. Sector 01 close combat control data. Will investigate improvement of tactical patterns through synthesis and acquisition of data. Dividing into categories for sorting. Sector 2. Evasive action control data. Will investigate improvement of tactical patterns through synthesis and acquisition of data, dividing into categories for sorting. Sector 3. Non-battle data. Error. Excluding. Sector 4. Non-battle data. Error. Excluding. Sector 5. Battle-related data. What could these be? Momentary disruption of data from visual information stream. A room that is not in this place. Outdoor scenery thought to be at night. Also scenes of multiple units of the same type gathering outside of the battle chamber. Could these be memories? Visual memories? They are obviously unrelated to the mission. Why have apparently purposeless memories been preserved this long? 20 to 40% of the informational data extracted from all 7 units are confirmed to be such information. Incomprehensible. What is this? Cables disconnected. Time elapsed during data transfer, approximately 5 minutes. Reopening optic inputs. Calibrating servos.
Alright then, unit number 031, give us a simple report of today's battle results.
Order confirmed. Delivering oral report of self-results.
This was the first test battle against others of my model. 7 units destroyed. Below 15% damage sustained. Don't seem to be any problems.
Was that...
Unusual expression detected from research staff. Facial recognition library indicates surprise.
Did I say something funny?
Does it have an accent?
Accent? Do you not understand the words coming out of my mouth?
No, we do, but
See? I wasn't hearing things. The unit's speech really is peculiar.
You don't need to yell.
Is the language interface not set to default? Sheesh. If we'd known this, we would have reset it in advance.
And a base's personality might be coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the volunteers were from the Kansai area.
Yeah, see, I think that's interesting. Normally, when a translator is translating the Kansai dialect, they use a southern accent because it's in the southern part of the country and because it's kind of considered like a folksy accent, but it's also considered like a rough and tumble and troublemaker accent. So I think Boston is probably the better, go-to for localization. But it's also just kind of an interesting flavor. I like it. It's fun to see a Boston accent in an anime thing.
But it just woke up. Would it be exhibiting such distinct mannerisms this early?
Like Joey Wheeler. Joey Wheeler, he's the best. His deck sucks, but he's the best. And he's got to get Serenity's eyeballs back. They keep popping out of a skull.
It may be the effect of an enlarged plume of dusk, the basis of their mind. Perhaps it's accelerating their personality development.
Exchange of opinions taking place on an unexplained aberrance in speech pattern. Hypothesis offered that language interface settings fall outside expected result. Review of recent conversation does reveal certain discrepancies. Internal monologue is within expected patterns, but oral output induces anomalies. Anomalies not affecting meaning. No impediments to communication predicted.
But I don't want to waste this feedback data. Those are the best results we've ever seen.
Leave it. It'll be fine. It can understand us anyway. This is just one of those things that makes science interesting.
There you go again. This unit is going to be communicating with the others. What if this effect spreads? Not only that, but because this is an anomaly, it doesn't seem to have a 100% accurate accent either.
But if it has a personality, that might speed up the development of its mind.
Well, she's right.
The 3 researchers are standing around the maintenance chair. Each holds a tablet and examines the display on the chair.
Alright, unit number 031, we'll explain things from the top.
Voice patterns consistent with research staff.
You are a weapon created to fight against unique enemies. Therefore, your combat performance is prioritized over all else. But in order for you to use a particular ability, you've been given a certain amount of awareness. And that makes your performance difficult to quantify. So we've been pitting test units against each other as a selective growth process. It's all in the service of achieving higher performance. And we don't want to waste any plumes of dusk.
Accessing archives. Search term Plume of Dusk. One match found. A crystalline substance at the core of personality modules. Its name derives from its thin, plate-like shape resembling a shed's bird's feather. In addition to its circuit-like structure, it has an unnatural vital reaction in response to external stimulus. Similar to a living thing, yet different. It is thought to exist in a state between mind and matter, mass and information. The details are unknown. There are 12 other subheadings classified under Level 7 clearance. Access denied. Matter interpreted as the core of personality modules.
Regardless of your ego, there is one rule you must abide by. You might as well think of it as an order.
One rule to abide by. Awaiting order.
The only order is to destroy everything we identify as enemies and to emerge victorious. Though your ego will give you some flexibility when planning tactics, there's no need to think about extraneous side issues. Use everything you have to win a fight. That's all you need to concentrate on.
Orders confirmed.
Understood.
Destroy identified enemies and emerge victorious. A clear order. It is consistent with the role of a weapon. No abnormalities. Everything is clear. There you go. That's chapter 1. It doesn't get any quicker than that. We're going to be here a while, folks. Underwent maintenance on the chair after the test battle. Post-reboot diagnostic showed status normal. The time was 1900 hours. Research staff set new activity cycle. All units return to standby condition at 900 hours. Units will remain on standby at regular intervals between tests until 1700 hours. Maintenance and setup will take place until 1900 hours. Afterwards, time is allowed to be spent in the outdoor area of the grounds. On returning, enter standby mode within the cage. Cage. I think that's right in Boston. Cage. Yeah. Instructions are able to repeat these actions until unable to continue. The next item on the new schedule is to spend time in the outdoor area. Parameters of spending time unknown. Hypothesize that the meaning is to remain on standby and wait for time to pass. Hypothesis unnecessary. Schedule must be followed. Exiting building. Outdoor area reached. Light levels limited due to time of day. Many trees. Let someone in Boston say trees. Trees. Yeah, I think it's just trees. Still visible in environment. It is almost entirely consistent with known data from off-limits area. The ground is different from the laboratory's artificial flooring. The soil is exposed. Various natural plants are here. A certain amount of time must be spent here. The intention may be to heighten basic response capabilities in the natural world. Others of the same unit can be seen stepping into the central area, reassessing the surroundings on various spectra. Unlike the combat test, no hostile unit markers detected. Hypothetical. In combat, under current conditions, what tactics would be effective? I reassess the surroundings as combat environment. I assign value to various geographical features. I survey the topography and the outskirts of the environment. I detect unusual movement in one unit. Other units are also surveying the environment, but this unit is crouched while holding something in its right hand. I do not deem this unit's unusual actions to be a threat. Threat. I said threat wrong. Threat. How would someone in Boston say threat? Parked car. Threat. It might just be threat. Like there's no real accent applied to it. Not enough of a stretch. I approach it in order to make inquiries. Upon my approach, the unit turns around and stands.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
I process his statement. Its conversational gambit is unexpected. I find no prepared response in my libraries.
You mean like how this is our first encounter? In that case, yeah. What are you doing here?
I've never heard
What are
your
you
accent
doing
before.
here?
It's intriguing.
They said stuff about my accent too earlier. Do I really talk that funny?
I wouldn't say it's strange. It was just surprising.
The unit looks over again and then speaks quietly to something in its right hand. I examine what it holds. It is an organism. Its body is covered in white fur.
What's that thing?
It's a dog. It must have wandered in.
Organism's parameters are consistent with access data on dog. Its size does not present a threat. Threat is going to be a bitch. The search of its specific breed is cancelled.
A dog.
The unit turns its gaze back.
My unit number is 024. I wouldn't call it my name, but that's how they refer to me. What's yours?
Question difficult to process. Conversational subject of names is newly introduced.
I'm unit number 031. They're up to the 30s. I see. That must mean they're finally creating units loaded with full-sized ones.
The dog barks. A scan of the surroundings shows several units turning to investigate. All units ignore it and look away.
This one wants to say hello, too.
It does? You can understand what dogs say?
Kind of. After carefully comparing its mannerisms and slight variances in its barking, I just figured it out.
Its right hand pats the dog's head while its left scratches the dog's neck. Number 24 continues to make various forms of contact with the dog. 24's actions are consistent with styles of communication. Hypothesis. The objective of spending time in this area is to develop communicative skills. Conversing with others of the same unit and refining. Yeah, I gotta do a lot with the lips, so it's refining. Communication will enhance cooperative tactics. Counterpoint. No value detected in communicating with organisms not of the same unit or human.
What's the point in doing that with a dog?
The point? There isn't one, I suppose.
There is no point. Unexpected response strongly indicates that 24 is not like other
Are
units.
you interested in what I'm doing, though?
Interested? Is there interest involved? It seems to be the case. Unsure of the purpose of earlier question to 24. Why ask it? Oral senses detect electric noise. Recognizes pseudo-information involving no sound waves yet perceived as sound data. It is the alarm signaling the end of this activity. All other units begin moving as one toward the building. 24 speaks to the dog it cradles.
Sounds like that's all the time we have today. I need to get back.
24 crouches while petting the dog's fur-covered body and releases it onto the ground. 24 stands up again and turns around.
I hope to see you again.
24's expression changes as it says this. This movement of the lips is known as a smile. It is shown when humans experience happiness. Contradiction. 24 is a weapon, yet it makes that expression. No hypothesis found. Or is there no point to it as well? Spare cognitive processes rerouted to analysis. Still, I cannot understand it. The next day. After being released from standby, I am assigned to the test battle against others of my unit, as yesterday. Order confirmed. I am taken to the same chamber. The battle commences. I destroy the other 3 units and sustain little damage. As I wait there, the researchers come in. All have what seems to be high praise for my abilities. I do not understand how I should react to this. Should I give the expression of joy, as 24 did? The researchers crouch next to the units I destroyed and begin work on them. I think back and recall that they underwent this process yesterday as well. I am curious. I approach them. They open a slit near the unit's neck and use tweezers to remove a bluish-white plate-like object. It shines. They put the object into a petri dish. That distinct shine, neither strong nor weak, is like no similarities found. I'm sure it's similar to something, but I cannot access the relevant memory.
Well, let's get right to the feedback on today's battle.
As I sit in the maintenance chair, they connect a cable to me. The cable terminates at the midsection of a large device where petri dishes from earlier are placed. There are a total of 3. Each contains bluish-white plate-like object.
What's that?
The researcher's expression subtly changes. She is surprised. It only lasts for a moment before it fades.
This is a plume of dusk. Each of the units you destroyed had one inside them. These are much smaller than the one installed in you, though.
Little baby souls, if you will. It's like you're killing a baby, you know? Your little baby soul. I comprehend. This is a plume of dusk installed in me, too. This unknown substance forms the core of my personality module. I was aware of its existence, but this is my first time seeing it. These are the 3 personality cores of the units I destroyed. They contain not only combat data, but memories and experiences. like a little baby soul. You got a big girl soul, and then these got little baby souls. It's not long before the extracted data download begins. I sort for the data relevant to enhancing battle performance and incorporate it into my own. The process takes much less time than the initial transfers from yesterday. During that time, I recall what took place last night. There are cases where non-combat data is being preserved. Such memories are included in this download as well. Visual memories of the outdoors at night. Memories very similar to what were in yesterday's downloads too. Probably from the time spent in the outdoors area. The units I destroyed seem to have assigned these memories in the same priority as combat data. Why though? It is effective in learning communicative skills, but that is lower priority than combat. The visual element preserved here is irrelevant. Wait. Hypothesis. The units I destroyed had their own priorities and values other than executing orders and performing in battle. This line of thought leads to a realization. This thought process I am undergoing right now, it is not executing an order, nor is it contributing to battle performance. I once again look towards the plumes of dust inside the petri dish. Something almost exactly like that is installed in me. Then, were the destroyed units thinking along similar lines as mine until yesterday? I feel a twinge within me. It is different from detecting an error or an interference. What is this? I have no answer. Kind of slipping into a Christopher Walken, just a little bit. But hey, we're charging through it. Only 1,000 more of these to go. It'll be great. My second night of spending time in the outdoor area came. It started at approximately 30 minutes later than yesterday, but there was very little variance in weather and temperature. The difference is trivial. The night sky has the same soft brightness. The wind and the trees are no different. Without understanding why, I initiate a data search regarding the tree that catches my eye. I learned that this tree varies slightly from specimens of its kind found in natural forests. Though this topography seems natural, it may be cultivated and managed by the facility. I decide to traverse the outskirts as I did yesterday. It is not long before a familiar unit comes into view. There is no need to run a scan for visual matches. I know that it is Unit 24. Number 24's left side turned towards me. It is sitting on a large rock. When I approach, 24 notices me, and it turns around.
Are you looking for something?
24 initiates conversation.
Huh? Who, me?
I just wondered if you were looking for me. I did express a hope yesterday that we would meet again after all.
I was looking for 24? It's true, I may have been. I began walking the same route as yesterday, but since 24 came into view, I changed course to approach. I may have been searching for 24 in this area. Did I desire to reunite with 24? Why? I am silent due to lack of explanation. 24 smiles again. A smile. What was the cause of that expression this time? I do not comprehend. Like so many other things.
Would you like to sit with me? This rock is large enough to accommodate us both. It would be more relaxing than standing.
Thanks.
I sit in the office space and gaze at the same scenery 24 is looking at.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
I decide to voice the doubt I experienced during the combat test today. Today. That's not right. That's getting into Cockney, which is they're pretty close actually, Boston and Cockney. In my limited experience, 24 has a better comprehension of such matters.
Do other units think about stuff that doesn't have to do with fighting and missions?
Do you have such thoughts?
To tell you the truth, I can't really say. Feels like I do, though.
24 is silent for the duration before speaking again.
Units of our model are all given a mind. It's so that we can eventually develop what is called an ego. The reason our appearance closely resembles that of humans is related. It's to foster self-awareness similar to a human's. Have you not been told about personas?
Personas?
The word is unknown to me. Accessing archives. Searching for persona. Over 1,000 headings found. I must filter the results further. The results further. Yeah. Which subject is 24 referring to? I am silent as I think. 24 smiles again and resumes the conversation.
It's an ability expected of us that normal weapons don't have. The conditions to use one are theoretically already loaded in us. But a well-defined ego seems to be necessary to activate it.
I am already aware that we have been given a mind. Today I saw for myself the part that forms our personalities. Is its activation triggered by development of communicative skills? I still do not have a good grasp on it, though 24 continues to speak.
That's why I'm sure there are others with thoughts that do not pertain to missions.
That would seem to be the case.
Then maybe those I fought up till now.
24 trains its gaze on me.
And how does that make you feel? The opponents you destroyed may have thought similar things to what you just did.
Do I feel things? I cannot say for sure. I'm unable to respond to the question. I mean, earlier in the conversation, you did mention that it feels like you do something. Like, you feel like, you have thoughts about things. So I don't know what you're talking about. 24's expression changes again. The expression could be classified as a smile, but it is subtly different from the ones I have cataloged as experiencing before. Mixed with joy and gladness of previous smiles, this one contains a slight hint of sorrow?
It's okay. You don't need to come up with an answer right now. It actually may be better to forget it. After all, tomorrow we may find ourselves ordered to destroy each other.
Once again, I detect a twinge inside from hearing 24's statement. It's similar to what I sensed during the data transfer today. What is that? What is it that wavers inside me? I am about to be lost in thought again. Lost in thought! It's a good phrase. But as if to prevent that from happening, the signal from our schedule shift echoes in each of our ears.
It's time. I hope we meet again.
As 24 quietly stands up, I detect an expression I have come to know. Another smile. It appears as if 24 is adopting these smooth changes in expression naturally and not deliberately. I wonder if I will eventually be able to do the same. Another night passes. Another combat test takes place the next day. Just as scheduled, I face units flagged as enemies within the test chamber. I am overwhelmed with a strange sensation. The way that my opponents are expressionless now seems strange to me. There is no intent or cognition evident in their faces. They wear no expressions. They are blank. There's nothing wrong with them. That would be my normal assessment, but I recall 24's image. The blankness of these faces and 24's face when it had no expression are different somehow. Even when 24 had no particular expression, it was not this blank. Not every portion of the face was neutral. Further analysis shows the same is true for humans. The researchers are never completely mechanical and expressionless. I look at the hostile flagged units again. They are the same unit type as me. They were given a mind and may potentially develop an ego later. I recall 24's statement again. Do you feel something when you destroy an opponent that may be thinking the same things as you? I am on the verge of entering a long train of thought when the enemy moves. I shake off my doubts to focus on the battle. I study the opponent's movements. I formulate the most efficient method of damaging it. I execute the method. Over and over. The array of actions I have to select from and my flexibility in linking them will decide the outcome. Having already received 10 units worth of downloaded data, I'm likely second to none regarding the scope of possibilities in this respect. At times, I can even anticipate the next action, since my opponents are the same unit type as me. The tactics are determined using the same thought processes as mine. That's right. They think the same things as me. Eventually, after approximately 4 minutes pass, all opponents are silenced. I successfully executed my mission. The day after that, I achieved victory in the combat test with the same efficiency. It is easy to eliminate them. I first begin by targeting their weapons. It is not always necessary to destroy their main body. If they are incapable of resisting further, the battle is over. It is the most effective way. I win the next day, and the day after that. Units geared for close combat with no external weapons give me no choice but to damage the chassis. But even then, there is an order to things. If I destroy the parts that present a threat, such as the motor functions of the limbs, the match should be considered as won. Soon afterwards, the buzzer signaling the end of the test echoes, just as I expect. I catch myself rushing over to the unit collapsed on the ground. I have only destroyed the unit's arms and legs. It is still conscious. But I realize I do not know its unit number. I'm at a loss how to address the unit. The opponent asked me a question, then, that I did not expect.
You seemed to deliberately avoid attacking the face or the neck in that battle. Why?
Huh?
I am momentarily at a loss for words. What the unit says is true. There is no damage to its face. I review my actions during the battle to find that at no point did I attack its neck either. The cranial region is where the plume of dust is housed. If it is destroyed in any type of unit, that unit will fall. Aiming to disarm a unit is effective. But would targeting this obvious weakness be a more efficient tactic? I avoided doing so?
I dunno.
The researchers enter the chamber and hide the unit from my field of vision. I could not determine whether my last words had an effect on the opponent's expression or not. Not expression or not. I think that's right.
These past 3 days, it hasn't been destroying the other units beyond repair, like it did in the first battle.
It must be learning to finesse its attacks rather than just using brute force. The result? Swift, overwhelming victories.
Its evasive skills are improving as well. That level of flexibility and evasive action could never be replicated by chaining predefined maneuvers.
This unit's collected a good amount of feedback data, too. It's growing steadily, feeding on the bones of its kills.
You don't have to say it like that.
The researchers are preparing for the download. Growing. Destroying them and absorbing the data. That's what growing is? So I thoroughly destroyed a few of my opponents these last few days. Some of their bodies were salvaged. While I download their data, I always kept their still bodies within view. Yeah, we're almost done. No, we're nowhere close to being done. I lied. We've got several hours more. I'm not going to finish until it's done, but holy shit. Just as the combat tests were repeated, my actions outside each night were repeated as well. I become aware that I am seeking out 24 of my own will lately. When I attempt to communicate with other units, most often they cannot understand the meaning of my questions. This prevents us from conversing. But that may not be the only reason. I want to converse with 24. I've begun to desire it. When I go to see 24, the white dog I saw on the first day we met appears from somewhere.
This one seems to have been raised as a pet somewhere far away from here. But one day, it was brought to the forest near here, and its owner suddenly disappeared.
It seems unlikely that 24 obtained such a detailed history of a stray animal from the research staff. Was all this information obtained by communicating directly with the animal? From a dog that does not speak human language?
Its name is apparently Snowy. At least, that's the name it responds to the most.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh, well, the name of this animal is a dog. But how do I put this? Snowy is what this specific dog is called.
Snowy.
Snowy barks once as if comprehending its name.
It's white, like snow. Easy to remember.
When I reach out my hand, Snowy rubs its nose against it without being frightened. The way it presses at my fingers feels as if it's showing pride in its name. I do not know the tactical advantage that communicating with animals offers to a weapon, but I feel that there is value in spending time with it. I decide to spend my outdoor activity time that day following Snowy around with 24. It is outdoor activity time on the next night. When I arrive in the outdoor area, I'm listening to a certain sound. I hear this sound intermittently every 4 to 7 seconds. I had wondered about the unknown ambient sound since my first day, but determined that it wasn't a threat and focused my consciousness on other things. Tonight, I increased my microphone sensitivity to maximum and concentrate on that sound. It is similar to something familiar. I scan my memories until I realize what it is. It is the sound of water. I hear it when the staff uses a device to clean their hands and tools. The waveform has some similarities to that. But if the sound is at this volume in such an open space, the volume of water must be higher than a normal supply would allow for. What could it be? I contemplate asking 24. It is clear that 24 knows much more than I do. I begin walking in search of 24. Where could 24 be? I go to where we spoke a number of times previously, but 24 is not there. 24 is also not at the rock where we sat together. Is 24 not here? I quickly discard the possibility. We are not ordered what to do while we are here, but coming to this outdoor area is in order. If post-testing diagnostics show no abnormalities, we are all to report directly here. I consider this. If there are no abnormalities, I feel a twinge in my chest. It is larger than ever. 24 will be here if there are no abnormalities. But what if there were such abnormalities? What if 24 was damaged during the combat tests? And sustaining damage is not necessarily the extent of the problem. Could it be? I realize that my arms are trembling slightly. It is not a conscious movement. I cannot make it stop. Is it possible? It is possible that perhaps 24 lost in a combat test and was destroyed? In these circumstances, it would be expected for such a day to come. What if 24... What if she never came here again?
Oh, this is where you went. You weren't at the usual spot, so I was looking for you.
Until I heard the voice from behind me, my senses had stopped accepting input. No sound, no light, nothing. All of them come back online with her voice. I turn around. 24 furrows. Oh boy, furrows is going to be awkward in a Boston accent. Furrows her brow and looks into my face.
What's wrong? The look on your face seemed as if you saw something frightening.
My face? My expression? Frightening? Am I scared?
I do not comprehend. I cannot make that judgment.
Are you perhaps scared of fighting?
Nah, I don't think that's it. What is this? I can't tell.
Am I scared? Scared of what? That you will disappear? During an operation, it is possible that I might assign greater priority to the other unit's safety than my own, but we are not on operation now. And this emotion is not the same anyway. It's a different emotion. An emotion? I have emotions? I looked at 24's face pleadingly, but I cannot put my question into words. I cannot express my feelings to her. And though 24 sees this, she says nothing. She only smiles tenderly. It's the same smile she showed once that looks happy but also sad. During that night's outdoor activity time, neither 24 nor I speak much. We just walk together side by side without many words. I do not take the opportunity to ask her about the intermittent sound of water. Water. I get to say water in a Boston accent. What else could a man ask for? It is the next day. I detect some sort of weight in my chest. I am aware that there is no physical weight there. It is most likely a psychological phenomenon. I perform a vocabulary search. The idiom of being heavy-hearted applies best. I cannot help but find it amusing. It's a very apt phrase. But what is causing this heavy-heartedness? That I may not be able to see 24 someday? That may be it. But I do not think that is all. Over the next few days, I spend my time without finding an answer to the question. Each night after the combat tests, when it is time for outdoor activities, I seek out 24 first. and each time I confirm her presence, I feel an indescribable sense of relief, and I rush over to her. We exchange standard greetings in the first few days, but that practice was eventually discarded. Now there are no special greetings between us. We can understand each other without words. Our eyes and expressions communicate enough. Tonight as well, I find number 24 and rush over to her as usual. There are no words, only an exchange of smiles. We begin walking together.
Do you remember me asking before if you were scared of fighting?
I nod.
To tell the truth, I'm scared of it too.
Her confession is surprising. It is counter to our nature as weapons. Yet for some reason, I am not surprised by it.
I'm afraid I'll lose and be destroyed, and it's painful for me to make others go through the same ordeal. We may be weapons, but shouldn't we be driven by more than seeking victory? I've been wondering that for a long time.
But that's against orders.
24 gives a half-hearted smile.
I'm sure things would probably be much simpler if I stopped thinking and just obeyed orders. Unfortunately, I finally found it. I found my answer.
Your answer?
There's someone I want to meet. I feel like meeting this person is my own objective and not an order given to me.
Since we have never left this facility, we have absolutely no acquaintances with outside people. There should be no relationship with such people. But I immediately understand. This person she wants to meet is someone on the outside. Even I don't know why I thought so. But when I reflect upon that thought, the indescribable wavering within me becomes greater than ever.
Ever since I started thinking that I was scared to fight, each day was painful for me. If I'm going to feel this way until the day I lose, I even thought it would be better if I lost on purpose. But I won't think that anymore. I feel glad now that I exist. I mean, we're loved after all.
Loved?
That's right.
I repeat that to myself. The word loved. I do not comprehend. But when I look at her gaze, the clear eyes seem to see beyond the sky. Her statement seems correct. I feel that there must be something vital. As I watch her try to express something without words, it is hard to believe that she is the same unit type as me. It seems more that she is human.
Why are you telling me this?
It's probably because I didn't think anyone but you would understand.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure I really get it either.
I'm sure you'll understand one day. I hope so anyway.
Sheesh. Why you gotta be so cryptic?
24 laughs at this. It is the purest smile I have catalogued. I know without comparing it to anything that it is a smile of pure joy. I detect Snowy playing at my feet. After playing at 24's feet too, Snowy runs off ahead, about 3 meters, and then turns around. Its tail moves vigorously back and forth. Soon afterwards, Snowy sits on the ground and looks up at 24. I watch 24 crouch and pat its head. I am thinking back about other things. Things besides fighting and defeating the nearest enemy. My own objective. Someone to meet. I still do not fully comprehend. But the way she is playing with Snowy tonight looks more fun than ever. Her smile seems very natural. If the answer she discovered is the origin of that smile, I would like to understand it someday too. I can feel that desire budding inside me. Yeah, let's place a bookmark, sure. Now we're halfway there, you know? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, boys. Once again, I participate in a combat test. Once again, I claim victory without destroying my opponent. I target only her weapons and limbs. I elect not to employ the tactic of targeting the weakness in the cranial regions. I believe that if they think the same things as I do, they would not want to wish for their personality modules to cease functioning. Though even if I do destroy them, their research staff will remove their plumes of dust. Either way, their functions will be suspended. My actions are difficult to justify. But I feel that suspension through destruction is not a worthy end for them. That is what I think when I rationalize it by applying the criteria to myself. I do not think anyone would want their consciousness to be terminated by those like them. I find myself more conscious of the damage I sustain and my efficiency in combat than ever. Depending on my results, I may eventually be ordered to destroy them. To prevent that from happening, I must continue fielding favorable results. It becomes easy to continue fighting with that objective in mind. That is becoming my new objective. I am theoretically being tested to destroy my opponents, but I have begun fighting so that they will not be destroyed. Paradoxically, this has caused my results to improve. Could this be considered going against orders? My strike shatters the servos in the opponent's pivot leg. She falls to the ground, unable to stay upright. Her weapon has already been destroyed. She should be incapable of resisting now. But the buzzer's signal at the end of the test does not sound. As I wonder why, I hear a grating metallic sound from the opponent. She leaps onto me with her one good arm and leg.
What's the matter, number 031? Hurry up and terminate the target.
I do not know what to do. My opponent is acting contrary to her own safety. I grant that this is the only action left to her, but she will destroy herself before inflicting any damage to me. A tactic that puts one's life at risk like that. Putting one's life at risk? What am I saying? We are weapons. We exist to obey orders. We cannot prioritize our self-preservation without a change in those orders. That is what she's that is why she's challenging me to a fight. She will do so until all of her circuits and servos burn out and she becomes incapable of action. As she grapples with me, I put up my hands to her neck and squeeze. I adjust my grip strength limiters to 70% of maximum. The opponent's body makes an abnormal sound. After this, I sense the main lines of bridging the unit snap in half inside the soft structure. Her movement stops. Her limbs go flaccid, indicating loss of consciousness. I can see my reflection in her optic inputs. They have lost their focus and look like black holes. I gasp. The face I see reflected in them is not expressionless. How should this expression be classified? I have seen it somewhere. I have seen it sometimes when 24 smiles. This face indicates sadness. The buzzer signaling the test end finally rings. The researchers enter the chamber. I'm used to the scene now.
That was pretty impressive. You think it's because of the size of her plume? Funny that one little part could make such a difference.
Indeed. Most of it is due to differences in their tactical mentalities. It may be on the cusp of what we would call an ego.
Considering how everything's been going so far, I'm starting to believe more in persona abilities.
One little pot? It is true that the plume of dusk installed in me is comparatively the largest among units of my type. But does that pot determine everything about us? 24 Smile seems to be much more human than mine. I find myself opening my mouth to speak, but I realize that the statement I'm about to deliver is a protest. I'm quick to abort. Was I about to deny the staff's authority? They speak to me. My confusion seems to have gone unnoticed.
Well done, unit number 031. That was an impressive display of destruction. Plus you cleanly severed its transmitter, leaving the plume of dusk unharmed. That's certainly ending things on a high note.
Ending things on a high note? An act of destruction is a high note? The researchers look at each other while holding the petri dish with the bluish-white plate-like object. One of them says, "This is the one."
All right, number 031. As of today, the test battles are finished.
Huh? It's over?
I cannot help questioning the unexpected statement.
All the results indicate that you have the very highest performance out of all the units of your model.
I'd say we can go ahead and earmark unit number 031 to be the base for developing the 5th generation.
The base?
It means that you're the winner.
The combat tests are over. Will I no longer be required to fight? A strangely intense sensation of relief fills me. It is not because I won and gained a reward. If the tests have ended, those of my unit type that are not yet destroyed can escape that fate. Interesting. It seems that I was reluctant to destroy them after all. My priorities have become inverted. And I'm so happy that I smile. The researchers notice this expression as well and smile back.
Okay, we're going to begin the usual review of the feedback. So come over here.
When the download begins, the memories and thoughts of my recent opponents flow into me along with vivid images. Sifting through battle data has now become a routine I repeated so often that I am barely conscious of it now. I pursue the non-combat memories she preserved. It is the landscape of the outer area again. At first I could only vaguely recognize it, but now I can pinpoint exactly where this memory is from. It is near the biggest tree. The memories of flowers. The image of a small shoot, a budding plant, and a blossoming flower. She must have had an interest in the concept of growth. For we machines, the growth of an individual is an unknown concept. But one of us took an interest where I had only seen it as part of the landscape. It seems that she too had her own thoughts unrelated to our orders and battle performance. She simply did not show it. I recall what 24 said. My own objective, and not an order given to me. The twinge of my chest returns. I'll make sure to hold tight to your memories. This was the thought that formed in my mind. Once again, it is time to spend time outdoors. I quickly meet up with 24. It seems she was looking for me as well.
Hey, can I talk to you for a while? The lab boys told me today that they were putting the kibosh on the test battles.
I see. It's over then.
Look, I've been thinking, if they end up tossing us out soon because of that, I want to go with you to go see that person you were talking about. The one you wanted to meet. I might even put in a formal request about it to the lab boys.
24 takes my right hand. Before I can determine her intent, she pulls a cable from her wrist and connects it to a port of my own. She looks at my face in silence. Thinking that she wants to confirm that the tests are in fact over, I nod. But the data that transfers is from her to me. The packets that flow through the cable form a single, very small archive file.
If you are still safe when everything is over, open this file.
24 removes the cable, but keeps hold of my hand.
What do you mean, when everything is over? How come I can't look at it now?
If I had to answer, I would say because it wouldn't be fair.
Fair?
She smiles and does not answer. It is that same unsure expression. It is a smile, but there is sadness in it.
It would be wonderful if I could go with you to see her.
Her? So this person you're looking forward to meeting is a girl?
24 nods slowly.
It's strange. Even though my wish may not come true, I still feel satisfied for some reason. How bizarre. It's a fervent wish of mine, too.
She looks towards the sky and smiles faintly. This time, it contains more than sadness. There are too many emotions for me to pass, all reflected in that one expression.
I believe in you. I can tell you this because I trust you. Maybe that's why I feel so at peace.
Huh?
Maybe this is what it is to feel alive.
Alive. It has happened again. I do not comprehend the meaning of the word, yet I feel a twinge inside. I look at the sky and attempt to follow a gaze. There's nothing there to hint at a meaning, but I still wanted to get closer to her. She wishes for me to understand. I want to grant her wish. From then on, we spend our time looking up at the night sky in silence. Eventually, the signal that time is up reaches our ears. That is when I notice that the moon has appeared from behind the laboratory buildings. I see. I thought that the light emanating from the plumes of dusk reminded me of something. I now know what that is. It is very similar to the light from the moon in the night sky. Yeah, it's always a bookmark. The sun rises and the next day arrives. After coming out of standby, I am ordered to enter the shock-resistant chamber once again. What I am told is for a different purpose than combat tests. Soon afterwards, the 3 researchers who supervise the feedback downloads appear.
Sounds like it's decided. We'll discontinue use of the name Unit Number 031. Generation 5 Labrys will be this unit's new name.
Labrys.
That's your name. The official one's much longer. Generation 5 anti-shadow... Uh,
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labrys. How hard is that to remember?
Labrys.
This designation by a name that is not a number. Never questioned being called number 31 until now. Nothing about it seemed awkward. But I wonder why. I'm happy now to have acquired a name. Even if my designation changes, it will not have a concrete effect on my abilities. But by discarding my number for a name, I feel as if I am no longer one in a series with minute variations. I am a discrete individual. That may be why. I find myself smiling as a result.
From now on, the battles you fight will not be to test your performance. They'll be geared toward drawing out a persona. First, you will fight all the remaining units of your model type. Your objective is to destroy them, every last one.
Huh?
I am perplexed at the disconnect between their tone and the voice and the specifics of the order. Fight against all remaining units of my model type? Destroy every last one of them?
The fear impulse and self-preservation instinct seem to be the key to activating a persona. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress.
Stress? Come on, you don't have to go this far.
Huh? Well, that's a first. None of them have ever protested like that. Well, at least that's a sign that its ego is developing.
You told me it was over. I thought I wouldn't have to do these things anymore.
You...
Ain't there some other way? If there is, please, let me do that instead. I don't want to fight him anymore.
The 3 researchers look at me with apparent surprise on their faces. Did my protest get through to them? I hope so, but...
That's a surprise. Such natural speech patterns. I hadn't thought its personality would develop this fast.
All the data's being recorded now. Let's compare them and look at which stages they improve at.
They smile while muttering to themselves. I'm at a complete loss for words. They're not machines, but humans. And on top of that, they are creators. It is not possible that they do not understand me. Yet their current expression. Till now, I thought that they were understanding people who treated us close to human. I was wrong. I'm only an object to them. No matter what I say, they will see it only as a response to stimulus. Behind their gentle attitudes, we are nothing more than test subjects they hold no emotional attachment to. They do not focus on what I am saying. They are only interested in as a reaction. The researchers ignore my stunned silence and hastily leave the chamber. Their figures are hidden behind the hatch. Soon, with a terrible, low-pitched sound, the hatch on the other side begins to open, where the opponents come through. I'll be forced to fight again today. In the days to come, I must continue to destroy my opponents each time. I cannot find the words I want to say. I slowly turn my head towards the hatch, but what I see there is what truly leaves me at a loss for words.
No.
The opponent emerging from the hatch is number 24. There is no smile or sadness on her face. She's quietly standing there, expressionless. 24 steps into the chamber while gazing at my face. The hatch slowly closes behind her.
No. Why?
Even I do not know who the question is addressed to. Why is she here? Because she was ordered. Do I have to fight her now? It's not quite sinking in yet. But in a sharp tone I have never heard from her before, she tells me what I must do.
Draw your weapon.
I can't.
If you don't fight, you'll lose. I will end up destroying you. Are you willing to accept that?
Why? Why are you saying this stuff?
24 ignores my question and reaches behind her back with her right hand. The multi-use weapon unit releases from her back. It becomes a greatsword in her right hand. It is approximately 1.5 meters, as long as she is tall. It is also alarmingly wide and fitting with propulsion devices. It is difficult to process seeing the weapon pointed at
If
me.
you fear being destroyed, if you have a heart capable of fear, then there's no need to hesitate. That alone gives you the right to attack me with all your strength.
But doesn't the same go for you?
I could not help but plead. 24 does not answer, but it appears that a very small smile forms on her lips.
You said there was someone you wanted to meet. I can't fight you knowing that.
I turn and appeal to the researchers watching us from the other side of the glass wall.
Come on, stop this! I don't want to fight anymore!
I press against the transparent wall and continuously strike it with my fist. Though my safety limit is not disabled, it must be coated with something. I cannot even scratch it. The researchers standing on the other side are completely expressionless, and as if they are machines themselves. I beg and plead, but they do not respond. If only there wasn't this clear glass wall between us. I am so frustrated. Why? When I hear 24 speak up weakly behind me.
Only one of us can exit this chamber.
Huh?
They never told you, since you were strong enough, that battles never lasted very long. But that's the rule of this place. The only time the door leading beyond that transparent wall opens is when one of us is considered unable to fight. From the start, this whole setup never took our feelings into account.
I can say nothing. I can see from her words that what atrocious battles were forced upon her.
Talking like this is a waste of time. I can see I won't spur you into fighting with just words alone.
As soon as she finishes, 24 leaps into the air, swinging her sword at me. I quickly jump back and barely dodge the attack. Her sword slashes at the space where I had been at a speed that could have killed. The tip grazes the chamber floor. Red sparks fly. She is serious. It finally sinks in. I jump away to put distance between us.
I don't intend to meekly accept
one sec.
your destruction. I have my own goal, after all.
That's not good. No, I didn't see it. Alright, I'm back. Just greeting my roommate.
Now, fight me.
I have no choice but to fight. But a thought crosses my mind. In terms of basic combat strength, mine is probably higher. Using my usual tactics, I should be able to destroy her weapon and disable enough of her servos to prevent her from attacking. 24's ego is without a doubt more highly developed than mine. It must be of value to the researchers. If I can render her incapable of acting, I may be able to avoid the order to destroy her when she is down. I decide to bet on that possibility. Possibility. I shift my priorities and fight back with all my strength. I cannot do this empty-handed. I remove my own multifunction weapon from my back and shape it into a battle axe. It pains me to do this, but it is the only way. I repel 24's persistent sword strikes and go for a counterattack. I aim for the greatsword's clasp with my battle axe. After a number of hits, it shatters. My next target is the transmission system from her shoulder and knee joints. In terms of output and movement itself, I detect various differences between us. Amongst those of my type of unit, I awakened latest. Compared to 24, not only my personality module, but my limbs as well have been upgraded to the latest versions. It's only a matter of time. 24 loses virtually all offensive capabilities and falls to the floor. As I planned, 24 is mostly undamaged apart from her weapon and motor functions. I immediately turn towards the researchers behind the invisible wall and raise my voice.
Isn't this enough? She had that ego thing way before me. Destroying her won't do anyone any good. Come on. Have a heart.
But hearing this, the researchers only laugh. Their faces are joyous as when they see results that surpass their expectations. Why? What in this situation could cause such joy? 24's body, collapsed on the floor, suddenly begins to convulse. It goes still for a few seconds, then, although it should not be able to move, it drags itself up.
What the?
Unpleasant metallic sounds are coming from all over her body. It indicates that she is undergoing unreasonable stress. Still, no expression appears on 24's face. It is a cold, doll-like void. It is similar in appearance to a newly activated unit. I know as soon as I look at her. She would never make that face like this on her own.
What did you do to her?
It'll be coming at you with everything it has now. You better not hold back either. Number 024 had an excellent record against others of its model. Even you might have a hard time beating this one, Labrys.
I unconsciously find myself biting my lip. We are weapons. In other words, we are tools. Of course, if there would be means to issue orders remotely. I recall that one of the other researchers said, "This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress. In other words, the more strongly I desire 24 survival, the stronger my reaction will be when forced to destroy her." That is why they laughed. I can sense the strength draining from my shoulders. There's nothing more I can attempt. All I can do is end her. Behind me, 24, or rather her animated shell, approaches me, its limbs shaking. I suppress all thoughts unrelated to tactics and slowly turn around. My body goes cold. My arms move into position as if controlled by someone else and ready my weapon. God damn it, another anime cutscene. I don't know why it keeps fucking up with the anime cutscenes. It was not a close fight. Once I decided to finish this, once I was resolved to stop her, 24 as she is now stood no chance against me. I fall to my knees next to 24. Her limbs have been shattered. She will never rise again. My processes are overloaded with things I cannot understand. I feel as if all processing is slowed. 24's face is turned to the ceiling.
Are you not gonna look at me anymore? You're not gonna smile again?
I did not expect her to respond, but 24's face moves slightly. I stare at her without knowing how to react. She turns her gaze to me and smiles.
I'm sorry to leave you alone. I leave the rest to you.
Those were the last words she spoke. I can't believe this. 24's dead face is laughing. She is smiling at the ones who destroyed her and robbed her of a dream. All at once, everything hits me in a torrent of emotion and data. I've lost her. I did it. I took everything she had. My vision begins to fade. My thoughts go with it. I cannot determine whether the lights are actually dimming, or if that is only my perception. It is too much to handle. I collapse to the ground helplessly, like a crumbling statue. The next time I awaken, I am lying inside a cage. It seems I was carried out of the test chamber. The download of 24's feedback data is about to begin. The researchers seem to have taken my sudden loss of consciousness seriously. I'm confined in a cage instead of sitting in a usual maintenance chair. The researchers keep repeating the words "interesting." So this is how they react when extreme mental stress is induced. I can hear their voices clearly. They seem to derive pleasure from the fact that I lost consciousness due to mental stress rather than physical damage. Cables are connected to my body one after another. The data download begins. All of 24's information, combat data, various records, and the memory she experienced, all of it flows into me. My eyes widen in surprise. My eyes widen in surprise is also a great phrase in a Boston accent. Everything is so vibrant. It is so clear that it is indistinguishable from actually experiencing them. This is the first time I have received memories with such vivid images. All of the images are linked to records of the emotion she felt in relation to them. They are so strongly linked that my screening protocols cannot distinguish them from human thought. The outdoor area where we spent time, the big tree whose branches we examined. That sound of water we heard periodically, Snowy playing around. As I relive 24's experiences, I pick up on an unfamiliar voice. There's no associated image data. Only the voice can be heard. It is a female voice. There's a female researcher at this facility, but this voice belongs to a younger person still in human developmental stages.
is a big place. And I know that there's a lot of people in it. But I won't be able to see it for myself, or meet many of them. I know that, too. I'm too weak for that.
Her speech is different from the researchers from those of my unit type. It is very similar to my own speech output.
Thinking about it has made me sad more than once. But I didn't want to do nothing and be left with regrets. That was when my mom and dad looked into some options. And we decided to go with this experiment. If even a sick girl like me could make herself useful to others in this world, I thought I ought to go for it.
Who could this be? I know only that she's female. She is in a situation where her condition prevents her from moving freely. It seems that instead of lamenting that fact, she has decided to volunteer for an experiment of some kind. Where did 24 hear this voice? Did she know this person? I wish I could ask her, but that is no longer possible.
At first, I kept wondering how much I could really contribute. But after hearing more and more about the program, I started to wonder about the others more myself.
Others? It is strange, but when I hear that, I feel 24's heart waver. Was she surprised? Perhaps even I feel something unexplainable.
Yeah. My big wish is to make myself useful to this world. But the ones born from me... Is born the right word for it? Kind of embarrassing. My other wish is that the ones born from me are happy. I doubt I'll be able to talk to them in person or stay with them. But I still wish from the bottom of my heart that they all have happy lives.
People's voices have unique characteristics. In the past, I have expressed it as variance in waveform, but each has what could be called its own texture and temperature to it. This voice sounds very warm and kind. I would like to listen to more of it, but the speech ends there. There are no related memories from 24. While the cables disconnect, I decide to search the archives for results matching that voice. Sadly, there are no results. During the search, I suddenly remember something. The archive given to me by 24 last night. I quickly open the folder and find a single text file inside.
If you are reading this, then I have most likely been destroyed. It may be that you already understand the concept of guilt, but you have done nothing wrong.
If you are still safe when everything is over. She must have meant if I defeated her in combat. 24 knew what would happen to those who lost in the trial. What emotions was she feeling then? What was going through her mind as she prepared this file? I feel something wrench inside my chest.
I happened to access certain data during the feedback treatment and learned something. Artificially creating a personality from scratch is very difficult, though they hope to achieve it in 2 generations. But those of our model were actually made from the template of a certain girl's personality. That includes you and I. She had left a recording for the units created using her personality. A message for those of us who did not yet exist. That's what I heard. She speaks in a strange way, like you. I thought, we really are connected to her.
I think about that unknown voice. The experiment the voice spoke of was related to our development after all. The owner of that voice was speaking to us.
The one who gave birth to us loved us. When I understood that, I felt like my eyes were opened. Though my life was filled with suffering, my birth had meaning. I firmly believe that. I want to meet her. I need to tell her thank you for giving birth to us and for loving us. This was not an order from the scientists. It was an objective I made for myself. So if you can understand my feelings, I'd like you to do this in my stead. Give our mother my thanks.
How 24 must have wanted to meet this girl, who she saw as our mother. She must have longed to thank the girl in person. The data within me, her heart tells me so. During the time when I was ordered to destroy her sisters, this wish must have been her only hope. Yet it did not come true. I shattered it. The one she herself said was the only one who understood her. She must have been devastated. But the letter ends the way I least expected.
Though we knew each other for only a short time, I'm glad I met you. I feel the same right now as our mother did. I wish from the depths of my heart for you to be happy.
I am shocked. How can she feel that way towards someone who may one day destroy her? I realize then that the visual input from my optics is experiencing distortion for some unknown reason. An unfamiliar source of water trickles down my cheek.
Labrys, is she crying?
So she is. I can't believe we're actually seeing a machine being driven to tears.
But its mental graphs are clearly abnormal. What kind of information did it download?
Who knows? That's one thing the graphs can't tell us.
We should take care to limit our studies to just the battle data. It doesn't need any sentimental memories. You can delete those. Why make a weapon so emotional that it can cry?
Delete them. Something roars within me. It drowns out the feelings for 24 and our mother that filled my heart.
Delete! Like hell you're deleting my memories!
Under no circumstance will I allow what 24 left me to be deleted for their convenience. I will not forgive this selfishness. We have been treated callously by the researchers in this laboratory. They gave us hearts, yet made us destroy those of our unit type as enemies. We killed our sisters at their command. If we refused, our desires were overridden, and we became their puppets. The wishes of the girl who desired our happiness were not taken into consideration. Now, even the few memories that 24, my sisters, and I have accumulated are about to be erased like trash. Though their aim is to develop our ego, they find it inconvenient for us to have real hearts. These feelings within me may be erased, perhaps even my heart itself. If that happens, will I resume killing my sisters without hesitation? What is least forgivable is the proof that 24 had lived. Her last wishes will be permanently lost. My hands are squeezed into tight fists. They make a small grinding noise. The goal that 24 found for herself was left to me. I will carry it out as my own now. I will burn it into my heart as my goal. It is a duty I impose on myself gladly. Nothing will make me surrender it. It must be fought for. Or rather, it must be protected, even if it means fighting.
What the? Its emotions are spiking into the red. I've never seen anything like this.
Hey, what's that warning? No. Labrys is in battle mode?
What? That can't be. There aren't any enemies. We're the only ones here.
I'm able to release all my limiters despite being inside the cage. The researchers monitoring me on the tablet PC seem perplexed and alarmed by this. They should be. They were witnessing an override of the principle of non-aggression towards humans. They are flustered and too panicked to speak clearly as they announce that an emergency has occurred. One of them steps away from the cage I am in and reaches for a switch with warning labels around it. Suddenly, restraints appear to bind my limbs.
Are you saying those mental fluctuations were enough to override the OS's restrictions?
That plume's playing pranks on us. Hey, hurry up and delete those memories.
These memories in my heart are not unnecessary. Something I have not felt until now. A sensation like heat spreads throughout my body. A trembling, burning wave rises within me. Soon afterwards, I realize that this is an emotion. There's a name for this feeling. It is anger. I route all my strength into my restrained limbs. The restraints are designed to withstand up to twice our calculated maximum output. Trying to escape is therefore logically doomed to fail. Even so, I continue to muster my strength. It is not because I judge it a viable course of action. I'm not merely executing an order. I am acting based on my emotions. It doesn't matter if the restraints can be destroyed or not. I wish to destroy them. The metal pots in both my limbs and the restraints begin to creak.
How's it doing that? There's no way those things are strong enough to break the restraints.
It's outputting over 220% of its theoretical strength limit, even though its joint actuators are operating at only 70% capacity.
That's not possible. That doesn't even make any sense. What's driving this thing?
I'm not gonna let you take those memories. I made her a promise.
The next moment, a rupturing sound like a small explosion shakes the entire room. The heavy metallic bands restraining my arms and legs shatter. I jump out of the cage and run towards the open door. I must escape from here. I have to get out and see the girl who loved us, though we were not yet created, to fulfill 24's wish, which has become mine. When I enter the hallway connected to the outer area, I am met with barricades and heavy artillery. My sister units have never been equipped with firearms. I recall being due to concerns over a unit's mentality affecting the accuracy of its aim. Instead, we were given short-range weaponry, a chain arm, and other implements in my case. But we are not sufficient to deal with a range of firearms. However, I do have a countermeasure. By using the flexibility and adapting to situations of my developed mind, I dodge the complex projectile trajectories and destroy the opposition. Eventually, I reach the end of the hallway and exit to the outdoor area. I have not seen this environment before. The trees are the same species as those that grow near the facility, but these specimens are much healthier. Where am I? The question did not cross my mind until now. Where am I? Where are we? I cannot use GPS that should be installed in me. It seems the research facility blocks GPS signals outside of its walls. This is probably to prevent its location from being pinpointed. Is there anything in the environment that can help me determine my location? The blue sky that I am seeing for the first time is stunning but irrelevant. Then I notice a periodic sound of liquid in the distance. That is the sound of the ocean. The answer came easily to my mind. One of my sisters must have taken an interest in it and learned what it was. My sisters are helping keep me alive now. When I think of it that way, a burning feeling rises from deep within my chest. But none of what I have seen in my surroundings is helpful. Is there anything else that I can determine my location? Any landmarks or signposts? I scan my surroundings while running past. These trees obstructing my view. They're a unique species. That may be a hint. I review the tree's characteristics once more and run another search on them. I attempted this once already, but there is more data available to me now. Once again, results come easily. This variety of tree is known as a cedar. It is found in many habitats, but the cedars here are unique. This tree's shape and age implies that it is that it is nearly a separate species. If that is because of differences in environment, it may be useful in determining my location. That's when an unfamiliar sound reaches my ears. The heavy rumble of what sounds like a motor. It seems that they have dispatched a vehicle to pursue me. I expected this. Their response was swift. It seems that they had measures in place in the event of one of us escaped. When the vehicle stops behind me, fully armed personnel pull out of it. Excuse me. They move to surround me from both the left and right. It's an obvious response. No matter how much power I may have, I am alone. The optimal solution will be to overwhelm me with numbers. I try to shake them off by running faster. But soon afterwards, I reach the main gate of the laboratory, a high steel edifice. It's tightly sealed. A number of heavily armed guards are protecting it. I stop. There's nowhere else to go.
Come back here. You're too useful a unit to destroy. You need to get back here to be regulated. That's your role in all this.
I cannot be destroyed here. I cannot be captured either. They surely will delete my memories. They will take my desire and everything else that was given to me. What purpose is in avoiding destruction then? The only options available are whether my wish dies with me or whether it is stolen away.
And not just because I don't want to be destroyed.
The moment I focus my concentration to remove the limiters on my onboard weaponry, I sense an unknown strength rise within me. Directly afterwards, something that cannot be quantified fills my body and the surrounding area. The pursuit vehicle suddenly stops. The research staff gets off. one after another, shocked.
It's reading. Is it on the verge of a persona reaction?
Shit, it's awakened? Aw, damn it, why now?
Well, at least this proves that mental stress is the key to activating the persona.
Who cares about that right now? It's not fully awakened yet, but with it still unstable, we don't know what it's capable of.
I'm intrigued by the statements.
Persona?
I knew that we had the means. That was not a way of controlling anything. I do not know if it could be called a power, nor do I know how to use it, but I can tell that others are afraid. I seize the opportunity and run toward the main gate. There's a slight possibility that I can reach the door without attracting any gunfire right now and vault over the door with my legs and chain arm. The moment I reach the gate, I launch my chain arm towards the upper threshold of the door. But the moment the arm grabs the ledge, something emerges. A much greater power touches the door as well. Suddenly the door crumples like paper, and a large hole forms in the upper half.
Now it's done it.
We need to hurry. If it's that strong already, we won't be able to stop it once its persona completely awakens.
That's persona.
I quickly regain my senses. I burst out of the facility and single-mindedly jump outside. My feet touch the ground of the outside world for the world. Outside world. World? Car? World? Harvard Yard? For the first time. They will most likely not let me escape. Fortunately, the door is badly damaged. It should take them time until it can be opened enough for vehicles to pass through. I need to gain as much distance and time as possible. And then... It is then that I realize that I do not have a destination in mind. Who is the girl 24 wishes to see? Where can I go to meet her? The only clue I have is the idiosyncrasies of the girl's speech. I have learned that this distinct speech pattern is often associated with specific regions. I should begin by traveling to where that style of speech is common. It is reckless, but I feel confident. At the least, I can get closer to the girl than I am now. Although my situation is dire and I am under pursuit, internally I am cheerful. There's a bounce in my step. For some reason, I cannot remain calm. Let's place bookmark. Let's see, how many more of these do we have to go? I believe it's not too many. We are on 7, I think. So yeah, we have 3 more of these to go. But one of them is a fight, so. Just then, 5 meters ahead, something white and fluffy crosses my path. It's Snowy! It notices me and approaches. I'm worried about my pursuers, but I cannot dismiss 24's beloved Snowy. I lower my speed and run with him. I then notice that the scenery we are passing is calmed. My surroundings are very different now. The blue sky that was previously obstructed by these trees is now clearly visible. The green grass is shining vibrantly in the light of the sun. And there's a deeper blue than the sky ahead. Many lines of white run across it.
The ocean?
Snowy barks as if in answer. I feel like it is saying, "That's right." I could not previously comprehend Snowy. I did not have an interest in trying. But now I can grasp what Snowy is saying, as if I could speak its own language. I know that it feels happy to be able to run with me. I feel as if 24 is inside me. Though we were forced apart, she certainly left me many things. Not only her wish, but other things as well.
I'll find her come hella high water. Are you with me, Snowy?
Snowy barks energetically. I respond with thanks and a smile. 24 and Snowy are encouraging me. If I do not have any clues, I will find her, no matter what happens or how long it takes. I search my current location once more. Now that I'm further from the research facility, I can use my GPS to triangulate my position. But on seeing the results, I cannot help but stop running. Snowy stops a little further ahead and then returns to me. My current location is Yakushima, within the Kogashima Prefecture. It is a remote island far from shore.
No.
The island's perimeter is only 132 kilometers. In such a limited area, it will be a matter of time before a full-scale manhunt apprehends me. The research facility must have been built on an island in anticipation of such situations. Even if someone were to escape the facility, the island's geography would contain them. It is essentially a natural prison. I do not want to believe it, but my hope was meticulously strangled before it was born. How can I wait here to be captured? However, I cannot wait here to be captured. I begin running again. Though as expected from my position data and map, I immediately reach the ocean.
So, this is the ocean. It's so huge. I can't see anything out there at all.
I look at the glistening surface of the ocean reflect the sun's light and ponder its beauty. I'm at a loss. Though I knew I would come to this, I could not stand idle. Despite this, my feelings sink. Snowy looks up at me from time to time as I stop running and begin walking. His gesture of concern forces me to smile and tell him that I am all right. The forest becomes a grove. The trees grow sparser. A blue ocean and the sandy soil leading up to it spread before my eyes. I check my map again. This is not an uninhabited island. There's a means for people to come and go, but I doubt that I will be able to use those methods freely without arousing any suspicion. I gaze down at my own hand. It is completely unlike a human hand. It is an object sculpted from metal.
Well, that's a problem. What should I do?
My question seems to stymie Snowy.
Come on, don't give me that look. Ah, well. Maybe it's my fault for getting so frustrated. Sorry, Pooch.
Just as I am about to crouch and pat Snowy's head, Snowy moves as if avoiding me. Snowy circles around behind me and growls towards the way we just came. I train my senses in that direction and sense presences in the distance. They may be keeping their distance on purpose. I have no firearms. They must understand that their effective range exceeds mine.
Looks like they're coming.
Amongst the human soldiers are a number of my sister units. Is it possible I can convince them not to fight me? I dismiss the idea as hopeless. Though they may have awakened their ego, after my escape they will be under Commander's control. Even if that's not the case, they may think their orders are absolute, just as I once did.
Knowing why they're here doesn't make it any easier to deal with them.
It does not seem as if they will attack me at once. They must understand that I am already at the ocean, and have nowhere to escape. I do not want to surrender, but I am frustrated by my powerlessness. To be caught like this, I have my own mission to accomplish. The ocean sparkles. The periodic sounds of water I once heard from afar echoes from it. As I gaze at the clear water while it ebbs and flows, a mysterious feeling rises in me.
Wow. Look at that. It's beautiful.
My opponents show no indication of moving. I step out and onto the sand. After cataloging that sensation, I approach the pier stretching to the ocean. When I step onto it, the wooden planks creak. I can hear Snowy's light tread behind me as well. I stand at the end of the pier and look out into the ocean. I wonder if she is beyond this ocean that seems to stretch forever. The girl 24 wanted to meet. The girl that I wish to meet as well. This mother figure who loved us and wished for our happiness. While my thoughts turn to the girl whose face I do not know, I decide to preserve the ocean's beauty in my memory. After all, it may be the last time I will be able to see the ocean as myself. The odds are high that when I am restrained and returned to the facility, my memories will be wiped. I'm scared. I'm frustrated. I don't want to be erased. But I don't think all my hopes are lost yet. This may be the end of me. But just as I inherited the memories of 24 and the other units, my memories will surely endure to the next generation. So I will keep these feelings along with the beautiful ocean scene deep within the origin of my heart. There it cannot be erased or tampered with. The blue sky and ocean, the shining sun and glittering water, and the gentle breeze and calm sounds of the waves. The scenery from this pier is so stunning that it's unimaginable from inside the research facility. I'm glad that the last place I see is so beautiful. With the ocean before me, I speak to any future sisters that I have yet to meet. It might be called a type of prayer.
To all the ones I'll never meet, but will receive my memories.
My emotions race ahead of my thoughts. I cannot find the right words to say.
There's so much I want to say to you that I don't know where to start.
I close my eyes again and calm my heart. To my descendants, whom I will probably never meet, if you ever find someone precious to you, as I did with 24, and wish to meet them, may you meet them here. May you go beyond this pier to places I could not.
I just pray from the bottom of my heart that everyone can find happiness. As long as that happens, I don't mind if I...
Even though my wish may not come true, I'm still satisfied if I can entrust it to someone I believe in. 24 said something along those lines.
This be it.
Snowy rubs against my leg. Is he warning me to be cautious of my pursuers who have arrived and are coming closer? Or does he only want me to pet him? I inspect him closely and realize that it is the latter. He must be worried. I crouch down and scratch Snowy's head.
Hey, Snowy. You think this is what it means to feel alive?
Snowy looks at me while wagging its tail. I pick up Snowy and gently hug it. Snowy shows no signs of resistance and allows me to do so. My pursuers are closing in now, but I will not run anymore. It is true that I am still frustrated, but it is strange. I'm also satisfied. Snowy licks my cheek.
Thanks. I'll be okay now. Things are about to get hairy, so you should hurry and get out of here.
I let Snowy go, but he does not leave me.
Come on. If you don't go, it'll make things hard on me. Okay?
Snowy looks at my face for a while. Eventually it droops its head and walks off. Snowy looks back several times. Eventually he disappears into the tall grass. My relief is cut short by 5 armed humans pointing their guns at me. I have no intention of resisting. I smile at them. Though it was only for a short while, I lived. I felt the happiness passing down my wish. It was only for a short period of time, but I may have granted the wish of the girl who is our mother. I allowed myself to be restrained without resistance. They take me back to the laboratory. I was so absorbed in my escape attempt that I did not notice the severe damage I inflicted upon the facility. It seems as if the dedicated machinery used to tamper with my memories is in no condition to be used.
Look at this mess! Going after humans? Oh, I bet the girl they used as a template for this motto was a snotty brat, too. Even if we delete its memories, it'll be too dangerous to keep using this unit.
There are so many things about it I want to research, though.
It's not worth the risks. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon will be sealed indefinitely once it's fully restrained again.
The voice is the last thing I hear before my consciousness is cut off.
Huh?
My consciousness should have been shut down, but I have awakened.
This place. It's that ocean.
I'm on that pier. The blue sky and ocean, the shining sun and glittering water, the gentle breeze and calm sounds of the waves. Even Snowy is next to me. The scene is identical to the one from before. Though this time I sense no pursuers. I was captured. I remember that clearly. This is obviously an abnormal situation at odds with my memories. But the clear blue sky and ocean are still so beautiful that I cannot help but gaze at them. If only I could go beyond it. Just as the thought crosses my mind, my viewpoint ascends. Soon afterwards, I realize that I am floating, as if my body is weightless. I'm astonished at myself to be thinking such strange things, but then my field of vision drifts and I turn my attention to that. The scenery I knew already begins to mix with other environments I do not know. They become a connected, continuous image and pass like a slideshow. From time to time, I pass through the drifting images. But I cannot grasp anything within those spaces. Even when they are about to collide with me, they pass right through me. Could this be dreaming? I remember something I once heard from the researcher at the facility. They said that it is possible for us to dream since we have a mind and may develop an ego. Though it would technically not be identical to a human's dream, the phenomenon would be very similar. I feel that the example the researcher gave of what a dream is like matches my current experience. If I am having a dream, then things that are not possible in reality may be possible here. For example, if I can leave this island. If I can go beyond the ocean. The girl that 24 wanted to meet said that even though she knows that the world is big, she could not be able to see it for herself. What could that have meant? Was she in a place that limited her world, as I was unable to leave the island? Just when it seems that the images flowing around me have stopped, I find myself in an unknown room. There's a bed here. Next to it is a flat-screen monitor. There are also white shelves surrounding the bed. To one side is a stand for intravenous drip. There's a machine connected to it by cords. Though it is small, it appears to function as a life science monitor. This is similar to the research facility. Could it be a hospital? The voices that sound from somewhere belong to a man and a woman. I have not heard these voices before.
She said during this morning's checkup that she wanted to go to school. She asked how much better she needs to get to be able to go.
Understandable. This ward is right near the road most of the students take. She must be lonely too, not having seen her parents lately. How much better she needs to get. She still doesn't know that her condition is incurable.
Why don't you be honest with her and tell her she won't ever be able to go? It's cruel to string her along like this.
Shh, keep your voice down. Room's next door.
I understand at once that these people are speaking of the girl that I wish to meet. The scene feels as if it comes from my own memory. I do not doubt it at all. The girl is suffering from some kind of an illness. She may not be able to go outside. Her condition prevents her from leaving her small world. Her life is like ours. Could the girl have heard this conversation? How did it make her feel to hear it? I want to spend more time in the outside world. I want to live a normal life. The thoughts that come to my mind are not mine.
I wonder if the nurses thought things like the student council were too much trouble to bother with when they were in school. I don't know. It sounds fun to me.
Just as I thought. It is the girl's voice. When I listen to her, I can sense a strong yearning and admiration.
You gotta admire the student council president. I mean, they're the ones that get things done for everyone. But I guess it's because they're like that in the first place that they get to be president, huh?
The girl had a strong desire to attend school and live a normal school life with friends. As I reviewed these voices and feelings, an interest in the school she longs for grows within me.
High school. I wonder what that's like. Would it be fun?
I wish to see for myself what she desires. Is there a specific image of it? What kind of a place is it? What activities do its attendants perform while there? There are no memories with regard to schools. This must mean that the girl has no such memories.
Figures. I don't know anything about schools or whatever else student life is like.
I want to see them.
I can show you if you so desire.
A voice answers my unspoken thought. Who could it be? I do not think I know this voice. For some reason, my mind becomes hazy. I cannot access my memories easily.
Who's there?
There's no need to be alarmed. I only want to give you a glimpse of the world you long to know.
I was under the impression that this was a dream. Dreams are supposedly a release valve for your memories. This voice doesn't feel like a part of me. Could that be possible? As I ponder these things, the scenery around me changes completely. I first see a 3-story concrete building.
What?
I do not know this building. As I examine it, my surroundings change again. The same desks and chairs are lined up. In front of me is a dark green rectangular board on the wall.
Is this a school? A real classroom?
This is the place the girl loved. It is here that I have gained an interest in. I find myself forgetting that this is a dream and focus my senses to the desks and chairs. I then realize that I can move around at will, just as when I felt my body rise at the beach.
So this is where classes happen.
I feel a sudden excitement.
What do the students do when there aren't any classes? Do they just talk and stuff?
That mysterious voice doesn't answer. Instead, I am surrounded by other sounds. Many voices are talking at once. It reminds me of the sounds of waves near the ocean. But the sound is lively and enjoyable. The voices belong to boys and girls surrounding a desk. They are laughing and talking. They wear common clothing, though there are some differences. These may be uniforms. It is interesting to see that each person's uniform is distinct in some way. That one is the only one with something around his neck. A girl with short hair and green jacket raises her right hand. Next to her is a girl with long black hair wearing a red jacket. She smiles. Then there's a well-built young man with strange spiky hair. In contrast to him, I can see a small, delicate, intellectual-looking young man. Last, surrounded by them, is a young man with a calm demeanor sitting at a desk. The front of his uniform is open. His white shirt is showing. They seem to be talking about something. I cannot quite discern what it is. The scene proceeds to show various points in a normal school day. Classes, activities, clubs, student council. It looks like so much fun that I get excited. But then I remember, this is all just a dream. I'm only dreaming. No matter how much I want it, there will never be a day when I can attend school for myself. All these scenes that I saw centered around the young man and his friends, I'll never join their circle. I cannot go to school. Not even human. I consider this self-evident truth once again. Though I look human, I am a machine made by humans. It doesn't matter how close my heart is to that of a human or how much my ego develops. I cannot become a real human. This mechanical body can never be truly human. Just as our mother could not overcome the obstacle of her illness no matter how much she wished for it, I cannot overcome the obstacle of being a machine. It is futile for someone who cannot become human to yearn for a normal human life. There is a strange sensation somewhere in my chest that feels like pain. Still, although I'm a machine created as a weapon, that girl loved me. What if there had been other people like her who could understand me? Would I then be able to find a place to belong amongst the humans? But
You'll never find a place where you belong. Humans created you as a tool. They would never think of you as anything more. Everyone, to a man, lives by averting their eyes from something inside them. They all wish to live inside a never-ending dream. For who has the right to say they shouldn't?
for just a moment I sense an incongruity in the kind voice. The strange pain within my body softens a
There
little.
are even humans who do not understand others' feelings. Still others do understand and trample upon them regardless. Compared to them, you are much more human.
I remember the researchers. They certainly did not understand me, 24, or my sisters. We were treated only as objects, even after they tried to give us a heart.
Why not then seek to be human?
Me? Be a human?
The voice whines gently inside my mind. I feel my body is growing uneasily light, as if the world is spinning around me.
People sort through their memories in dreams. Each night they let go of painful memories and continue their lives with the morning sun. That's all you need do. Forget anything contrary to your desires.
If I forget,
Do not fear the act of letting go. The ones you admire wished only for you to be happy.
My mind seizes upon something. That precious wish. The desire given to me to meet our mother someday and tell her thank you. I must not forget that. But as long as this wish is precious to me, as long as I cannot erase it from my heart, the fact that I am not human will
And
remain.
I too. All I wish from the depths of my heart is for you to find joy.
happiness.
I think back.
I wish from the depths of my heart for you to be happy.
I remember the girl who wished for our happiness. I want to grant that wish. I want to tell her thank you, but that will be difficult for me now. In which case, should I not at least seize upon this opportunity and be happy here for her sake?
Forget. And be happy.
My vision goes dark. The sounds I heard fade away. I feel as if I'm falling.
Everything is now in readiness.
Yeah, let's play the bookmark, sure. Yeah. When I open my eyes, I'm staring at the wood grain board. It's the surface of a desk. I quickly raise my head. It looks like I fell asleep in class. My sleeve was pressed against my forehead while I was asleep, and the texture left a mark. Oh man, I hope no one sees this. I rub my forehead a little and look around the classroom. According to the clock on the wall, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. What's written on the blackboard is 5/1/12, Tuesday. Everything else is erased. I stretch out my arms. I feel a little tired, but I gotta stay focused. After all, I just got elected student council president in the elections a couple days ago. I have to keep in touch with what the people who voted for me want in a leader. Things with the student council will get pretty hectic after school. I should hurry to the student council room. I stand up and open the door in the back of the class. When I go to the hallway, there's no one around. I check inside the classrooms as I go, but I still don't see anyone.
Where the heck is everyone?
It's weird. The whole school is usually rowdier than this after classes. I should hear people talking and laughing in classrooms and teachers yelling at them to quiet down. Where's all the Where's all the bustle of the students and everyone getting ready for the after-school activities? Just when I'm wondering that, I turn around and look down the hallway I came.
There they are.
There's some students in the hallway. Some of them are chatting with others coming out of the classrooms. A few of them run past me carrying their bags. Yeah, this is more like it. This is how school's supposed to be.
Hey, no running in the hallway.
The student gives an apologetic smile, but he just waves to me as he zooms down the stairs.
Jeez, you'll put your eye out if you don't look where you're going. Oh well, I just gotta clamp down on him more from now on.
I put my hands on my hips and
Hey
sigh.
there, Miss President.
Are you off to the student council room?
Have fun.
You're always so excited about that.
Bye, Miss President. See you next Monday.
Everyone walking down this hallway talks to me. I wave back to them. I always had a lot of friends and people who knew me, but ever since I got elected to student council president, all the students seem to know who I am. The job comes with a lot of pressure, but I know I'm up to it. I'm going to be busier than ever around school now. I did have my doubts, but in the end, I'm glad I ran for student council president.
I did the right thing. I did.
I head to the student council room. Time flies as I go over my agenda. Before I know it, there's a red light pouring in from the west window. It's already sundown.
Guess that's enough for today.
There's no one else left in the student council room. I had the others go home before it got too late. But when I said that if they pushed themselves too much at the start, they'd burn out too quick, they just laughed and said the same goes for you. I leave the student council room and lock it up. As I go down the hall, I return the key. I see a strange woman at the end of the hallway. She's not wearing a school uniform. She's got on an odd hat, some gloves, and a one-piece dress. They're all the same deep blue color. Underneath one arm is an old-looking book. I can see her face with her back towards. I can't see her face with the back towards me, but her short, straight hair draws my attention. Her hair is this radiant silver, like her pearls were stretched out into strands.
Who in the world is that?
Maybe it's the clothes, but she gives off this strong presence. I get a little uneasy looking at her. I'm not tiptoeing on anything, but she doesn't turn around till about 2 meters away. When she finally does, though, I gasp a little. Her features are so perfect. She's like a sculpture.
Hey, excuse me. You got some reason to be at our school? Are you sure this is how things should be? Huh?
I don't understand what she's getting at. But for some reason, the question throws me.
I am a wanderer who only stopped here because I sensed great power gathering. I am in no position to give advice, but, this place will soon be caught in a bit of a fracas. If you continue to avert your eyes from everything, I think it will have an impact on your life in the near future. My life?
What she just said sounded pretty scary. She may have some screws loose, but something is whispering me deep in my heart. Asking me, doesn't she have a point? Aren't you looking away from something important?
What you choose is up to you, but I believe there are factors preventing you from making the right choices at the moment. I couldn't bring myself to just stand by and watch as you lost your life before my eyes. That is why I was waiting here to give you one last chance.
The lady opens the thick book she's holding. I don't know how it's doing it, but the light streams from the book. It gets stronger and stronger until I have to shield my eyes. The blinding light finally begins to fade a little. I slowly open my eyes. The first thing I see should have been my arm. What I see instead is an arm made of metal.
What is this?
I can't believe this awkward metal arm is mine. It's like a metal plate's like completely covering it.
I start tugging at them to pry and tear them off.
It won't come off. What gives?
It's not just my arms. My legs have changed too. Why are my arms and legs mechanical? My whole body even. I stare at my hands in confusion. Is my hands all right? Part of me knows that, and I shake my head. What am I thinking? There's no way these are my hands. It's not possible. It's not. My head hurts. What is this?
I will be your opponent for a short while.
During that time, why not think back about who you are? Huh? My opponent?
The lady takes a slightly defensive
And
stance.
away we go.
Yeah, let's play the bookmark. We're almost done. And there was that. That was pretty quick. Boom, you know, just one fight at the end of a nice 2-hour-long narration. That's good. I somehow managed to beat the lady in blue who attacked me. How did I win? How did I use these metal arms and legs like it was second nature? I don't understand. The lady in blue stands before me exactly like she was when I first saw her. She's not even breathing hard.
Well done. But I'm sure you realize now, you are not human. There must have been an important promise that could only be kept in that guise. That must have been your reason for living. Whether it's worth losing that or not, I ask that you give it serious thought.
An important promise. My reason for living?
I repeat that to myself. It seems important somehow.
Now, it seems the tumult of trials is about to begin. In which case, I bid you good luck.
The thick book in her hand closes with a loud thud. Strangely, that ordinary sound lingers in my mind. When I come back to my senses, there's no one here anymore. I take a nervous look at my arms and legs.
Seems different about me.
There's no metal on my limbs now. Just ordinary skin and bones.
What the heck was that? A dream?
Yeah, what was that? Would daydream be the word for what just happened? I can't sort out my thoughts, so I think to myself, I can't let it get to me. Just let it go. But some things can't dismiss that easy. You are not human. You have an important promise, which must have been your reason for living.
She said, I'm forgetting something? That I need to remember?
My head's hurting again. The pain brings back another memory. It's just for a second and I can't quite catch it, but I saw blue skies and the ocean. Someone else was there. Maybe a white dog too? I don't know. I think there's a lot more to it, but the last voice I heard stays with me.
I mean, we're loved after all.
When I come to, my hands are balled into fists. That's when I make a decision. That promise, that reason for living. I have to hang on to it. I didn't hear them until now, but there are strange voices everywhere in the school building. Is this the tumult of trials that lady in blue mentioned? Is that really going to be a thing?
I can't just leave this be. I'm the dang student council president.
As student council president, I have to find out what's going on at my school. I need to make sure the students aren't getting involved in anything dangerous. I start running towards the first floor. First floor, passing forward in the floorboards, and there you go. Actually got all the way through one. Oh yeah.
Welcome
Yep.
to the Velvet Room.
Now we can do the
This place
cliffhangers.
exists between dream and reality. Mind,
At least some of them.
matter. Now then, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh man, it's a good game. It's a good game. very, very long. Not a lot of battles. It's got the full thing right in there, but man, you can't fault it for doing something different. It's really trying its best out there. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Nobody I like is streaming, so I'm gonna not rate anybody. I'll just leave you guys be. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna do some Wild Arms. Yeah. Hopefully with less narration and more stuff. But yeah, catch you then. 2 o'clock. Be there.